Welcome to Loco, Gringo, Mexico, the place where we transform a tourist into a traveler, because you deserve to see more of the world than just what's in a guidebook. Each week, we talk with amazing locals who know the Riviera Maya and Yucatan like only a local can, and get them to share their tips and insights on the local scene, culture, and cuisine from a local's perspective. So, pour yourself a margarita, grab a comfy chair, and let's get the show going.
Hi, my name's Kay Walten. I'm really happy to introduce you to a good friend of mine today, Kelly McLaughlin, who is a Canadian woman who arrived in Mexico back in 2003 for a 2-week vacation, and she hasn't left since. She's a writer and a social media personality known as Cancun Canuck. With her blog and her social network, she shares her love of Mexico through her unique personal tales. If she's not online, she's probably underwater, climbing a pyramid, or getting into some sort of shenanigans with her adventuresome son. She also has 5 rescue cats, which in no way implies that she is single, except it does. So, with that, let me introduce you to my friend Kelly. Hey, I'm really happy to have my girlfriend Kelly McLaughlin here with me. Kelly lives in Cancun, and she's originally from Canada. Hey, Kelly, thanks for your time today.
I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Kay.
Hey, Kelly, I gotta ask you. So you came to Mexico on a 2-week vacation. Now, where in Canada are you from, and why Cancun? Why not Orlando, Miami, Puerto Vallarta? Can you give me a little background on that?
It's kind of a crazy story. I might seem like a bit of a freak, but I got divorced in Canada and had some money and some time, and I spun the globe, quite literally. My finger landed on Cozumel, and I said, well, where's Cozumel? And I started to investigate, and that was how I decided where I was going to go for my divorce recovery. So it was completely random, totally random. And it was the best spin of a globe ever.
Now, let me ask you this. So you went to Cozumel, and how did you wind up on the mainland then? Did you stay at Cozumel for a while, or did you go straight to Cancun?
I stayed in Cozumel for about 6 months. Once I realized I wasn't going to leave Mexico, I knew that I had to get a job. And obviously there was more work to be had in Cancun than in Cozumel. So I crossed to the mainland and got myself a job.
Now you and I know because I've met your son. Now was your son born in Mexico, or was he born in Canada?
No, he's my little Mexican baby. He's part of the reason I stayed.
Ah, beautiful. Well, he's a great kid, and I love watching all the pictures that you post of him on Facebook. And actually, just so everybody, all the listeners know, is that Kelly and I met through social media because sometimes our paths don't cross. When you live in Cancun and the Riviera Maya, sometimes we pass each other on the highway. But we met each other through social media and are at a lot of the same events and everything like that. We became fast friends, and I don't know, we've been friends for 5 years or so now, since about 2009, 2010?
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
It has been a while. Now, I know that, what did you do when you started in Cancun? I know you have your blog, Cancun Canuck, which everybody should follow. It's a lot of fun. But did you start there, or were you waiting tables or working at a dive shop? What did you do when you first started working in Cancun?
I started teaching English, which I had never done before, but I enjoyed it immensely. It felt like I was able to give something back to the community that was adopting me. And from there, I started writing the blog for fun, to show my family back home that I was safe, that I was having a good time. And from there, everything else just kind of changed and took off, and my life turned into a virtual world.
Now, I know you have Cancun Canuck to show your family and everything. Now, what have you spun that to? What does it bring to readers and everything? I mean, I'm not your sister, but I do read your blog. So, what will people find if they come and visit your blog?
Well, it really evolved from "Hey Mom, I'm Alive" into it's a mix of an expat blog, how to survive in Mexico with a gringo attitude. And it's also my travelogue with my son. We have a lot of adventures. I'm a Pisces. I'm always in the ocean, in the cenotes. We love to experience the archeological sites and just exploring our day-to-day lives as well. So it's a combo expat travel personal blog at this point.
Now, out of all the places you could be in the world, I mean, it's you and your son. You can go back. What keeps you here in Mexico? What keeps that passion going to keep writing your blog and telling your tale? What drives you every day?
Well, first and foremost, my son. He's my everything. And here in Mexico, children are really celebrated. And I can go anywhere with him, to a fancy restaurant or to a dive, and he is welcomed with open arms. And I think that there are a lot of places in the world that you don't find that anymore. I enjoy taking him on my adventures, and he is viewed as an equal to everyone. And the family values, I suppose, is really what I'm talking about here, that children are revered and welcomed, and it makes my life so much happier that he can come with me and do everything that I do.
And I've never asked you this, since I don't have kids. I don't get into lots of school conversations and things like that. But so and it's Max, right?
Yes.
So does Max go to public school, or does he go to private school? I'm sure there's a lot of people who listen, and I know I've got a lot of people who have kids, and they're probably curious on whether Max is going to an English school or a public school.
He goes to a private school. He always has. It's not an American school or an international school. It is a local school, but they are bilingual. The public school system doesn't have the greatest level of English in the education, so I prefer he go the private route, and he's been getting a wonderful education.
Oh, that's wonderful. And it's great. I mean, I would think as a mom, to have a bilingual child in this day and age is great, and to have him interact with a culture. I mean, I'm sure, going back to Canada, he gets the Canadian culture and he interacts with a bit with the Americans, but to be entrenched in the Mexican culture has got to be a great opportunity.
Well, he's so funny. He doesn't understand that not everyone is bilingual. So he will meet kids on the beach, tourists, and he'll start speaking Spanish to them because Spanish is the language of children in his world. And I'll say, Max, you have to speak English to them. And he said, well, but why? I say they're from the United States or from Canada. He said, well, what do you mean they don't speak two languages? Which, I'm hoping is not going to become an arrogant thing, but it's pretty cute in a little guy.
No, that's super cute. And I envy that. My Spanish is deplorable, as you've seen some of my emails to you.
Well, and I have to say, my Spanish improved dramatically when I started doing kindergarten homework with him.
Oh, I bet. It's at-home training then. It's at-home schooling, except Max is the teacher.
Exactly. He says, Mom, you don't know Spanish. And yeah, he embarrasses me in public sometimes, but, he helps me out too.
Well, let me ask you this. I find it really interesting, Cancun, everybody has the impression of Cancun as like, the hotel zone, the hotel strip you've got from the north end all the way down to the south end, wall-to-wall big hotels, condos and everything. So for you, we all kind of like a little bit of break from mainstream tourism and everything. Are there some great places? Can you tell people and share with us a little bit on some of the things you find special about Cancun, maybe outside of the hotel zone? Or, hey, I know you and Max, I watch your Facebook page. You guys do go to the beach and everything, but what do you make it special so it's not so mainstream vacation tourism?
Yes, the Las Vegas of Mexico.
Yes, exactly. I thought I was the only one who referred to Cancun and the Riviera Maya sometimes as Las Vegas.
Well, there is a lot of negative attitude about that, and I get that. I understand that it's really easy to just see the gigantic resorts and hotels. Living here, I have the opportunity to explore the places that are kind of hidden in between those big hotels. On the weekends, we really like to go to... Can I share the secret, really?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're here for. I want your tips.
We go to a place called Rio Nizuc, which is a little corner of Cancun that's been there forever. The restaurant has no electricity. There is no pounding music, and you can get a fresh ceviche, a cold beer, and we can fish and enjoy total tranquility like Cancun used to be. but it's our hidden little spot. So I really shouldn't give too much more information.
Now, and now is that, I would say that's the south. If my my geography's on the mark, then that would be probably the south end of the hotel zone, right?
Yes, it's down near Wet and Wild. It is still in the hotel zone, but it sure doesn't feel like it.
Wow. Now, is Wet and Wild still open?
Wet and Wild is still open. I think they're changing their name and they're adding some new attractions. They've partnered with another company, and I think they're making some expansion. So we'll be looking forward to that in 2016.
Well, I bet you that would be fun for the kids and stuff like that. I don't know if you're going to be really excited to go to a lot of times, but every now and again it could be fun. Now, I have a question for you. Since and I don't get to Cancun too often, the airport, Costco, Sam's, but now, is there anything I used to go to in the old days? I used to go up to Punta Sam. Is there anything at Punta Sam, or is that all developed now?
There is a development there, but it's another one of our secret spots. There's a little restaurant called Las Jaibas that we like to go fishing and, again, enjoy our nice cold shrimp cocktail and a beer. And it's very, very close to the El Meco archeological site. And I just want to be very clear, I do not call them ruins, because ruins really implies something ugly for me. I prefer to say archeological site because they're still beautiful. So we enjoy going down to Puerto Juarez, Punta Sam, visit Las Jaibas, and go to El Meco for the day.
Oh, that sounds great. Wow, I didn't realize there's still some getaway spots there up around Punta Sam because it's been so long. Now, I have to say, do you come down to the Riviera Maya at all? Do you have any fun spots in the Riviera Maya that, you and Max come down to, or if you get you get Mom's day off that you scoot down the coast to?
Absolutely. I'm a super big fan of the cenotes. Our favorite would be Jardín del Eden. There's a cliff that we can jump off of into the waters. There's a cavern section, and there's these really awesome fish with big colorful fins that I haven't seen in any other cenotes. So Jardín del Eden is a favorite. And of course, we really love camping in Tulum.
Oh, yeah. Camping in Tulum's great. I remember when we used to be able to camp in Eshkasel.
And Spuha. Spuha is still kind of hidden away, and there's a little campground there. So we'll bring the tent and the fishing rods and park for the weekend in Playa Spuha.
Spuha now has some glamping there, a kind of upscale tents. They just opened a couple weeks ago. It's about 400 pesos to camp. And so if you're lazy and don't want to take your tent, you can just walk in down there. It's over by the kiteboarding place.
Oh, that's fabulous. I think that's where the campground always was. I'm excited to know that they're stepping things up a bit.
Yeah, they just opened it up. It's about 20 tents with a proper bed, no fans, don't want to take any valuables down there and stuff, but it's right next to that little restaurant and kiteboarding place. Super cool.
That's great. Yeah, with valuables when I'm camping, they just get locked in the car. I'm all good.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And it's funny when you mentioned Cenote Eden is that was one of the first places that Gary and I explored when we started exploring caves back in 1993. And we used to, from that ledge you jumped into, there was just a stick ladder climbing up. So we used to jump with our doubles on, with our tanks. We would jump from that edge in the tanks. And I remember the first time I did it, I used to be so scared. It took a while to get that courage to just jump down. I don't know, what is it, like, 6 meters or something like that to jump down with all that equipment on.
Well, with your tank and everything, I can imagine it would be scary. See how deep the water is until you're in it. So.
And that little guy who's at the gate, and I know everybody now, they pay an entry fee and everything. When we were there, we used to go, listen, will you take a package of cookies or a Coke for us to get in? And we used to be able to drive in with just paying a package of cookies or a Coke.
Oh, that's adorable. I love that story.
Yeah, I love that story too. I miss those good old days sometimes. Things have changed. It's still great and beautiful, but you don't have the romantic stories that we have, and we don't even talk then when there was no water or electric and some of those other challenges. But it seemed really romantic at the time.
Well, yeah, there's still those little hidden spots, thankfully, that we can discover and share. At the Spuha, I love saying, okay, there's a rope and there's a woman you have to pay. She doesn't own the road, but she owns the rope. So you gotta pay.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? It's the truth. And I know that like an Eshkasel, you can get in there with a donation. There's still a guy with a rope. But it is with donations. So even though he says you have to pay, you just have to do a donation. He always tells people, I think like $10 when really 10 pesos will get you in the gate. But so I'm sure there's a little, the fee kind of is a negotiable thing.
Yeah, and it goes to a good cause. This Crystal is all about protecting the turtles, so I certainly don't mind throwing a few pesos in that direction.
No, Eshkasel's great, and I remember there used to be. Did you ever go to Eshkasel when they had turtle tanks there?
Yes, amazing. Amazing.
With Pat, that little old woman.
Oh God. Oh, you're making me feel old now.
Well, my parents used to come and visit, and my dad would always go and visit her and ask her what she needed, and he'd go to the grocery store and he would buy her all her groceries and a case of Dos Equis.
Beautiful.
And he would always show up, and Pat always had a beer and a Lucky Strike in her mouth in the morning. God bless her soul. But she did a great job taking care of the turtles and kind of started probably one of the early day turtle conservancy type programs where, to kind of create awareness and protect those little baby hatchlings coming out. And now it's a little more of a formal activity than it used to be back in the day.
I think actually that's one of the good things that has changed, is that there are more plans in place to protect the turtles. And like you say, it's a little more formal, but that offers them more protection and more security. So I'm okay with that.
Now, let me ask you, Kelly, you've probably been there, and I haven't. Have you been to the Underwater Museum in Cancun? How's that? Is it worth the trip?
I haven't been. It's on my list for 2000.
No
I know.
way.
It's on my list for 2016.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Well, I really wanted to wait until I could go with Max, and he's just turned, he's going to be 11, so he'll be ready to do his scuba certification hopefully this year, and I want to be able to share that moment with him.
Now, are you a certified diver?
I am not. I'm going to do that with Max as well.
Oh, excellent. Well, let me know if you want to come down and dive in the Riviera Maya. If we can hook you up, I certainly will. Because there's some nice diving, especially if you're starting out. It's a good, the Riviera Maya, Akmal is a great place to kind of get your feet wet, so to speak. But more than happy to help you out if you want to come down in low season and check it out. We'll see what we can do for you guys. And some of our staff, their husbands work at some of the dive shops, so we can certainly turn you on to the right people.
Fantastic. Well, we love any adventure that's underwater, so we will definitely take you up on that.
Excellent. Now, I want to ask you: is there any tips or anything you have since you go to the archaeological sites? Notice I didn't say ruins. Being in Cancun, so I have to ask: you've probably been to Ekbalam, correct?
Yes, it's in my top 3. One of my faves for sure.
And that's easily accessible from Cancun and the Riviera Maya. Any little nuances, tips, little secret things that you do that really make Ekbalam a great trip for you?
Ekbalam, you simply cannot go wrong. But my best tip is to absolutely hire one of the local guides. The tour guides in Ekbalam have been there, forever and ever. And for them, it's family, it's their own culture, their own history, literally their grandfathers and great-grandfathers. So hearing them tell the tale of the site is nothing short of spectacular. I could not see the site if I didn't have the local beside me sharing the tales. It becomes something magic. It's a little different than just seeing a bunch of old rocks.
Oh, that's great. I haven't been to Ekbalam in an embarrassingly long time. Now, from Ekbalam, how far is that from Cancun?
It's about 2.5 hours driving. It's very close to Valladolid. You can catch a bus to Valladolid, which is about 3 hours, I think. And from there, you can take a taxi to Ekbalam.
Okay, great. Now, is Ekbalam on the same road as Tizamin, or it's a little bit close? It's a little bit east of the road to Tizamin.
It's a little bit east. It's close to Temazon.
Okay.
Temazon is the closest town, and in Temazon, you must eat the longaniza. It's the best sausage you'll ever have in your life.
Now, is it spicy sausage or smoked sausage?
It's kind of smoky. I don't think it's spicy, but as I've discovered this week, when I tell my mom, no, no, it's not spicy. And her face is turning red and she's crying. I think that my definition of spicy has changed, so I'm not sure.
No, I think I love the smoked meats in Tamo Zone. I think actually it is the thing to do in Tamo Zone is to eat. I always have the smoked pork that Chulette does and everything.
Oh my gosh!
It's worth the drive. Just if you don't go to the ruins, just to go and have the smoked meats there. And it's funny because you'd think you'd expect that in like Texas or some other place, but here in the Yucatan, I mean, that part of the Yucatan is also ranching. It's not so much. It's not that Caribbean style life. It's a little bit more of a ranch type style.
Absolutely. I had a wonderful experience visiting a ranch in Ekbalam. I went to a little place called the Genesis Eco Retreat and discovered that the woman was a Canadian journalist from my hometown who owned the place. So she took us to her ranch. Yeah, it was very strange. Small world. And she took us to her ranch, which was quite incredible because it's in the jungle. It's not a ranch like you think in Utah, big sprawling land. And there was cenotes in the ranch, and there was a spiral going down into a cave, and that's where the cows were hanging out. Very cool.
Oh, excellent. I've been in touch with those folks, and I've just never had the opportunity to go up there. But with your recommendation, I'm definitely going to make sure it's on my to-do list for 2016.
Yes, Lee is a lovely woman.
Perfect. Well, you know what, Kelly? I'm just loving this, and I hope that you're going to come back next year and talk to us. Actually, I'll have to edit out next year because it's supposed to be a timeless piece.
Yes.
But I'm hoping that you'll come back and talk to us. I want to hear about how you and Max learned to scuba dive, and I certainly want to hear about the underwater museum. So I'm hoping that you'll consider coming back on and sharing some more of your adventures. So, Kelly, I know I find you on Facebook. I find you on Twitter. Where can everybody find you?
I'm everywhere as Cancun Canuck. Even Google Plus, which the rest of the world has abandoned. I still love you, Google Plus. Instagram, my blog, I'm everywhere. And we have our monthly Mex Chat Twitter parties. It's the second Monday of every month. For 1 hour, we talk all things Mexico. And it is a lot of fun. You'll end up hungry, because we talk a lot about food, but it's it's one of my favorite parts of being an ambassador for Mexico is working with the Mex Chat community.
Oh, that's awesome. So I encourage everybody, please check Kelly, aka Cancun Canuck out. Check out on social media. You're on Pinterest as well, right?
Yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm branded, as they say.
My branded friend Kelly, she's everywhere. Please check out Cancun Canuck. Join Kelly and all of our amigos on Mex Chat. On Twitter, and I hope, Kelly, to talk to you again really, really soon, and thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Kay.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. We'll be here next week, same bat time, same bat channel, of course. In the meantime, got a question about the Riviera Maya or the Yucatan Peninsula? Feel free to ask. Just email me, askk@locogringo.com. We're all over social media. You can also visit our website, locogringo.com. And we've got a great blog. We publish Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So please jump in. The water is fine. Hope you all have a great rest of the week. Hasta la vista.
Thanks for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe. For links, show notes, and more information, head on over to locogringo.com or give us a call toll-free at 800-478-0081.
Porque se tragó la luna, estaba enferma la rana. Su madre soba que soba, dedos de pluma la panza. Pensó ranita que luna era una toronja blanca. Y aunque la luna es de leche, la leche estaba cortada. Croa, croa, dedos de pluma. Croa, croa, dedos de agua. Croa, croa.